Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Despite anticipation, today's newly released JFK files do not provide a bombshell revelation about the assassination. The Warren Commission's 1964 conclusion that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone remains unchallenged. However, what these files do reveal is fascinating. Cold War espionage, CIA operations in Latin America, and classified intelligence on Oswald's connections to Soviet and Cuban officials. So why is this happening now? The U.S. government just declassified 80,000 pages of documents as part of an ongoing transparency effort. These files, now available at the National Archives, detail America's intelligence response to the assassination and the geopolitical climate of the 1960s. While the documents may not change the official story, they do offer a deeper look at the Cold War paranoia and shadowy operations surrounding that era. Expect historians and researchers to spend months combing through them for overlooked details. The question remains, is the full truth finally out, or is there more we'll never see?
Now, I had planned to do a whole episode on Friday about what everybody is thinking about these things. And since it was my birthday, thank you all for letting me have the day off. I appreciate you. But Thursday night, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that because everybody's doing that. And I don't like to do the same thing that everybody is doing. So maybe I'll pepper in a few here and there just because I want to know. And when I find stuff, I want to share it with you. And yes, I think there is definitely a lot more that we don't know. And we may never know.
Hey, you remember how Serbia used a LRAD on their own people who were peacefully protesting? Yeah, the president says that never happened. God, I love politicians. Born to lie. So look, basically the president came out and his exact words were, if Serbia used a sound weapon on its own people, then I am no longer the president. That is word for word what this guy said. Well, gee, where'd this photo come from? From the protests, which appear to show a bunch of police guarding an LRAD truck. Huh? What's that? Oh, and here's the Minister of Police showcasing one of their LRAD machines. This is right after the president said we don't use these things. They're like, oh yeah, but we got them. We got 16 of them, actually. There's the close-up, like it says it right there. It's an LRAD machine. So the question becomes is, how dumb do they think we are? And also, bro, I guess you're not president anymore. I don't know. What?
There has been so much back and forth about whether or not they actually used this sound cannon. The president obviously comes out and is like, no, he didn't do it. But everybody else is like, yeah, why else would they disperse like that? My first thought was, okay, was there like some kind of sinkhole opening up and everybody just got the heck out of the way? But that would have been like, oh no, there was a sinkhole. They would have obviously come out right away and been like, this is what happened. Here's some pictures. None of that. And there are people with recordings that say they heard like an ultra low frequency in this tape recording, which is absolutely incredible because, that's kind of what it does, right? But I don't know. We may never know what actually happened, especially the way that they dispersed. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Victim language. If you use victim language, you keep the guilt alive. You reinforce it, you build it, you grow it, you fertilize it. Victim language is language like I can't. I can't. I can't. Whenever you say I can't, I can't. I can't. You're sending a message to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind picks up that you are helpless, that you're not in control, that you're a victim. So when you actually come to want to do something, the subconscious mind just feeds back your own command and says, you can't. You can't. The second thing is you say, I have to. I have to. Again, I have no control. I'm not in charge. But here's two other expressions of victim language that you've got to be careful of. And it's this one. I'll try. I'll try. What does the words I'll try mean? Well, let me tell you what they mean. They mean I'm going to fail, and I'm telling you in advance so that you can't come back on me. In other words, you say, well, I'll try to be there on time, but what you're saying is I'll probably be late, and there's no point. You can't come back on me because I said I'd try. What you do is you say, I'll do it or I won't do it, not I'll try. And the other words are I wish. A wish, as they say, is a desire or a goal with no energy behind it. I wish. What does I wish mean? I wish means I would like to have something, but I know I never can. Whenever you use the words I wish, You signal to the subconscious that this is something that you do not believe it's possible for you to achieve or acquire. The subconscious then completely discards it as a goal and gives you no energy, no motivation, no drive, no desire to accomplish it. So be very, very alert to victim language.
That is so true, and I have that problem. I do say I will try quite a bit, when in my brain I know I'm not gonna. I just say it, which is probably also the pacifist in me, which is also a problem that I will try to work on. But that is so true. When you think of those things, when you say it like that, you are absolutely saying, no, not gonna do it. But you should say I will, or I won't. Speaking of will or won't, look what happened. Boom. New goal. We're at 1,000 is our next goal. We made it past 500 and that is so fantastic. And I have all of you to thank. And if this is your first time here, won't you please join the ranks and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to give this video a like.
Have you heard about the underwater crop circles off the coast of Japan? Discovered in 2009, these mysterious formations have intrigued researchers and ocean enthusiasts alike. Measuring up to 30 meters in diameter, these intricate patterns were found in the sandy seabed and are believed to be created by a unique species of pufferfish. These little artists create stunning designs as part of their mating ritual, using their fins to carve out these beautiful circles. But why do these patterns look so deliberate? The pufferfish digs into the sand to create a nest for the female to lay her eggs, and these elaborate circles help attract mates. The detail and precision of these circles have led scientists to marvel at the pufferfish's ability, as it seems almost too complex for such a small creature. However, the mystery doesn't end there. Some people speculate that these formations could be evidence of other unexplained phenomena. Could they be the work of unknown marine life or even a human-made phenomenon? Despite extensive research, there's still much we don't understand about these underwater circles. They challenge our perceptions of nature and its ability to create beauty in the most unexpected places. What do you think? Are these underwater circles a natural wonder created by pufferfish, or is there something more enigmatic at play? Share your thoughts in the comments.
This is another one of those cool things that I learned by watching Z Frank. And yeah, it's a pufferfish. I just love how that video is like, ooh, look at the mystery, it's scary, and there's crop circles under the ocean, and then it's like, maybe it's a pufferfish, but no, it's so mysterious. But it's not. It's a pufferfish. It's a male pufferfish that creates the design to attract a mate. And yeah, mystery solved. It's not that fantastic, but I thought it was cool.
This is amazing.
That one's for you, Big Bang. Thank you so much for bringing that up again. When we talked about crop circles last week, you mentioned that in the comments, and I'm like, oh, I love that clip. I'm gonna pull it up, and we're just gonna check it out, and I don't ever question orbs. I don't, and I've told you why, and I'll tell you again, because my son and my husband, two people who I believe wholeheartedly to my core would never lie to me, saw one together. And yeah, I don't question the orbs ever.
I can't believe I'm even saying this. Dark oxygen was just found at the bottom of the ocean. Here's the deal. Some of these seafloor rocks are pulling off some weird shit. They're producing oxygen through a chemical reaction with no sunlight needed. Like, excuse me, what? Think about that. Oxygen produced in total darkness. I mean, this could change our understanding of life. What's even crazier is researchers think that this process might be happening on other moons and other planets too. And I've been waiting for this moment. So what do you think about this new dark oxygen mystery? I mean, could the secret to life on Earth be deeper than we thought?
I didn't do any research on this because I'm going to throw out a little bit of speculation and see if I'm right. And if anybody knows, please drop me some knowledge down in the comments section. But I think that maybe these rocks have some kind of chemical composition that allows them to absorb, the water and release oxygen. Or perhaps there's some kind of microflora or fauna even living in these little tiny cracks that is like processing it, like how fish breathe and whatever, or like how plants, they do the whole photosynthesis thing, even though it's dark. Maybe that's why they call it dark oxygen, because it's dark down there. I don't know.
Hey, alien lovers, get this. Scientists have found at least 1,500 perfect circles deep on the ocean floor. All of them about 67 feet across, and they are not man-made. Most of them are located about 12 miles off the coast of Corsica, but we've also found them off the coast of Japan and Alaska, and there's no explanation yet. I'm not saying it's aliens, but they are in the hotbed of USO sightings, leading me to believe that they might be.
I found this while I was looking for the pufferfish video, and I think that those images are potentially misleading, because I don't know if it's like the pufferfish beds or if it's like, you know, weird circles that perhaps are from aliens. So I'm not 100% certain, and I wasn't able to find another video about these circles in the ocean. All I can find is the pufferfish stuff. So that's super fascinating. I mean, I wish I had more of an explanation for what's going on, but now we're just gonna tickle the brain with what?
So I just woke up to everyone posting about this JFK file that came out yesterday, talking about how JFK calls Joe Biden a traitor. That's right, President Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, he calls him a traitor. So I wanted to dive deep into this because as soon as I heard it, I'm like, the timeline doesn't make sense. So let's go ahead and go into it. I asked ChatGPT how old JFK was, or Joe Biden was, when JFK was assassinated, and he was 21 years old. So just right there, red flag. So what was he doing when JFK was assassinated? He was a college student. So why would JFK call Joe Biden a traitor in college? I don't know. I don't think that he would, because I don't think he knew about Joe Biden at that point. But in 1994, a threatening letter was addressed to Joe Biden calling him a traitor by JFK Jr. And they said that they concluded that the letter was a hoax. It was kind of one of those urban legends that this letter was sent out, I guess. So in 1994, Joe Biden was 51, and he was a senator of Delaware, and coincidentally enough, 1994 is when he was doing the 1994 crime bill as well. Now, ChatGPT says there is no credible evidence that Joe Biden was ever called a traitor by JFK, that this talk of the letter is a hoax, and the only conflict between them at the time was about this crime bill. Well, if you look at the bottom, which a lot of people are not, it says JFK Jr. It literally says it right there. It is not JFK, it's JFK Jr. It even says 1994, meaning that this letter is real. Like, they're saying it's a hoax, but no, it was real. It was a cover-up. They didn't want this letter coming out. I would assume that this letter would not have looked good on Biden, especially coming from JFK Jr. And the critique about the 1994 crime bill has been very well documented of how horrible it was for the black nuclear family. So, I mean, I could see why JFK was upset about it.
Junior. JFK Jr. But my sister-in-law sent me that. She's like, do you believe that JFK actually said this? And I'm like, I don't know, let's find out. So JFK Jr. really wrote a letter saying, Biden, you're a traitor, you're a terrible person, and blah, 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 blah. So obviously there's some shady stuff going on in there, because the CIA could just be like, oh, it's a hoax, and spread it, just like they do. And they're like, oh, give this information. And they send their little patsies out to go and spread this information amongst the people that it's a hoax, it's just a fake thing. And then, you know, we find out forever and a half later, it really happened. But it wasn't JFK, it's JFK Jr.
Have you heard the theory that you can't get a sunburn if you're not wearing sunglasses?
Alexis explained that to me, yeah. There's an important mechanism where if you're exposed to UV light, it's not good to block the UV light in the eyes and only get it on the skin. That's how your skin develops those basal cell anomalies, where you get skin cancer and stuff like that.
Melanopsin.
Yes, exactly. So it's not good if you're outside all day to be wearing sunglasses, because you're blocking your eyes from creating that melanopsin from the UV light. You need to have that balance. And that's why Jack tells everybody to take off their sunglasses, because he thinks that that's probably like one of the biggest problems with people getting skin cancer and, you know, general health problems.
I don't feel like that's right. Because as a child, my fair-complected self win out a lot with no sunglasses. My son doesn't need more sunglasses, and boy is whiter than me. And we still get sunburns. So I don't think that's 100% accurate. I'm just gonna do a little wave here, but I don't think that's right. Yeah. Does anybody else find that to be a little peculiar? Now, I'm not saying we didn't go to the moon, because I totally believe that we went to the moon, but I do find that very interesting. Like, what? Interesting. Why aren't we doing that again? I mean, they got a buggy on the moon. Let's frickin' put another buggy on the moon, for crying out loud. What the heck? So, yeah, it's weird.
On March 16th, 2025, scientists made an earth-shattering discovery inside Egypt's legendary Great Pyramid of Giza. Using revolutionary new satellite technology known as synthetic aperture radar, Doppler tomography, developed by researchers Filippo Bionde and Corrado Malanga, the team uncovered astonishing hidden structures beneath one of humanity's greatest monuments. Inside the Great Pyramid itself, researchers discovered a massive, previously unknown chamber spanning 5 distinct horizontal levels. Intricately designed and deliberately concealed, this secret room has remained untouched for thousands of years, hidden within plain sight. But this discovery was just the beginning. Radar scans penetrating deep beneath the Pyramid of Khafra have revealed 8 perfectly symmetrical cylindrical wells, descending an incredible 648 meters, over 2,100 feet, straight into solid bedrock. These enormous shafts are precisely engineered, arranged methodically in parallel rows, and extend downward into vast cubic formations nearly 2 kilometers beneath the surface. Each cylindrical shaft measures several meters in diameter, constructed with astonishing accuracy, far surpassing the abilities previously attributed to ancient Egyptian technology. The depth alone defies comprehension. At 648 meters, these wells plunge deeper than the height of the world's tallest skyscrapers, connecting to immense subterranean spaces whose purposes remain utterly mysterious. Even more astonishingly, beneath the entire Giza Plateau lies an expansive network of interconnected chambers, tunnels, and massive cubic structures buried deep underground, stretching for kilometers. The scale and complexity of these underground constructions surpass anything ever imagined by archaeologists or historians, challenging everything we thought we knew about ancient Egypt and its capabilities. Could these enormous wells and hidden chambers represent remnants of a lost civilization, one far more advanced than dynastic Egypt? Ancient Sumerian legends speak clearly of pre-flood civilizations like Atlantis or Mu, powerful beings known as the Anunnaki, the Titans, the Atlanteans, who imparted extraordinary knowledge and skills to humanity. Could these newly discovered subterranean structures beneath Giza be physical evidence of these very legends? And most importantly, who has been trying to keep this information suppressed?
Did you get as excited as I did when I first saw that story? Because I just about jumped out of my skin. I was like, oh my goodness, I've been saying that there's something going on under the pyramids. And now there's a lot of people saying that they're debunking it and it didn't actually happen. And then there's stories in one way and stories in another. And I don't know which way to go, but I totally believe that there's something going on underneath the pyramids that we don't know about and that got mud flooded out because they're from previous civilizations that were way advanced than we are. And yeah, we're not allowed to know for why I don't know, but I have a shovel and I like digging.
Trees in the Amazon rainforest are being cut down to build a new road for an upcoming climate change conference.
This is going to be a highway, and this is where it's being built, slicing through the Amazon rainforest.
Now, as Brazil prepares to host tens of thousands of climate summit delegates later this year, there is visible evidence that the building work is causing deforestation. Tens of thousands of acres of protected forests of the Amazon have been deforested to make way for a new 4-lane highway, as our South America correspondent Ione Wells now reports.
Ben Piles here, writer and co-founder of Climate Debate UK. Ben, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, mate.
Continuing with our theme of sort of hypocrisy, idiocy, and nothing really working very well, I'm pleased to see it doesn't just apply to Britain. It now applies to Brazil, where apparently a new 4-lane highway has been built to cut through tens of thousands of acres of protected Amazon rainforest. Why? Because there's a COP30 climate summit coming.
Yeah, that's right. It turns out that if you want to have international conferences where all the world's great big green big knobs are going to hang out, then you have to build a bypass so that they can all get to the conference centre from the nice parts of the city.
Yes.
To go and have a good old chin wag.
How incredibly ridiculous is that? Hypocrisy at its finest. And you know they're all gonna fly their private jets to the beginning of the road and then drive this road, and they probably won't drive in electric cars, since right now everybody's a little hell-bent on the Teslas because they supported the green initiative in the first place, and now that Elon Musk is no longer on their side, they gotta go destroying them. But yeah, hypocrisy at its finest. And there is no shortage of it in the world these days, which is absolutely mind-boggling. Oh, I can't even believe it. Well, my super awesome, incredibly fantastic husband brought me another cup of coffee, and we're gonna tuck in for part 4 of this alien thing that we've been watching that has kind of gotten a little upsetting, but we're gonna watch it anyways because I'm not a quitter. We're gonna watch it. Part 4.
There's a lot of talk of 2012. I honestly do not know what's going to happen. I don't know exactly how it's going to happen. I don't necessarily know that I want to know. This is quite an adventure. And there is really something very profound about living in the moment. Because then you really pay attention. You're not thinking past it. You're really grateful for the moments that you're in right now and really gratified for those moments that you have. Because time is really the only currency that we have. It's not money, it's time. There's not a minute you can get back. You can always make another dollar, but there's not a minute once it's gone that you can get back. I wanted to share with you the definition of who we are supposed to be, or who we're going to become. I've asked this question several times, and finally, Visayas, after much hemming and hawing, agreed to share it with me, who they see us becoming. I asked one time in just pure desperation, what's going to happen to us? And, they've had a hard time with some of my passion and my emotions. I mean, I'm a Terran and we use them here. Not always responsibly, but we do. So I was just like, what is it that you want me to do? Just out of pure frustration. What's going to happen to us? And I just screamed at Visayas. And he just very calmly looked at me and he goes, this is how we foresee who you will all become. Responsible freedom of self-determination, becoming truly self-confident and free, to unconditionally be responsible for yourself without being coerced by some other authority. Okay? They've said many, many times we are already who we need to be. It's just a question of remembering. And in that remembering, it's about letting go of what we would perceive as mistakes, of regrets. I had a contact in the 90s And it was at a particular time in my life where just a lot of things weren't going well. And I didn't see any point in even being here. And I was with them on the ship, and I'm like, okay, I'm already in another reality. I just want to stay with you. And that was my request. I just want to stay with you. Don't even bother to take me back. I don't care about anything there. And I literally, with just the clothes on my back, I was ready to go. I was done. Unfortunately, they were not going to allow that to happen. And I was forced to come back. And I'm standing on the ground. And I'm watching them leave, and I'm crying. I'm like, you're abandoning me, and I don't want to be here. And Visayas was at the door, and he just very quietly and in his way telepathically said, Alex, the love that you withhold is the pain that you carry, lifetime after lifetime. And that was a real aha moment, okay? And it was an aha moment because we make decisions like that without ever thinking about them, really. Somebody calls us on the phone, hey, I really need to talk to you. I have a situation. And you're like, I've had a crappy day. I can't be bothered with it. And you just don't call them back. Or the kids want to do something, and they really want to do it, and you're just too tired and you say, no, we're not going to do it. And the decision isn't that you could do it. The decision is that you chose not to do it. And maybe those aren't the best examples, but we all have made choices to withhold love. From partners, from family, from ourselves. We've all made those decisions. And those are tough. Those are really, really tough to look at. We've all been there. And being consciously aware of not choosing to withhold love is an amazing feat. And it is not an easy one either. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't remind myself of that. I mean, that was an aha moment that's with me every day now. Doesn't always mean that, I always make the best choices or the right choices. I wanted to share also with you something that they have shared regarding time. No, I'm going to wait on that. On the worship of the isness. Now, one of the first questions that I had for them when I was a little boy, these contacts started when I was 8 years old, and I was vacationing in the upper northern peninsula of Michigan. My family was living in Illinois at the time, Elk Grove Village, Illinois, and my grandparents owned a cabin up near a Woodstock, Crooked Lake area of northern Michigan. And we used to go up there every summer, and it was awesome. It was just an awesome place. And the first contact, we had gone out.
All right, he's getting to the abduction stuff, which is really exciting to me because so far it feels like it's been a little bit of a self-help seminar using aliens as, hey, this is what we need to do because they said so, feel better, be happy and love, and which is a fantastic message, it really is, but it's felt like it's been a self-help seminar thus far, so I'm hoping he's going to talk about some of these abductions, which is super intriguing to me. And we'll catch the next part. I think there's only 2, maybe 3 more parts of this, and we'll catch the next part on Wednesday, but I'm calling it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Please come on back in a couple of days. We're gonna watch some new stuff. I'll say different things, and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day. Once again, I want to thank you all for being on this fantastic journey with me. It has been so much fun learning all this cool stuff and getting to know you folks. It's been great. And we hit that goal, right? Now we have a new goal of 1,000 subscribers, and we're going to try. No, we will hit that goal. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And if you're still here and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, won't you? And don't forget to give this episode a like and come back. Watch some more strange, weird, conspiracy stuff with me. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day.